I don't think that one's gonna make it. What's up, guys? I'm Nick, and this is Build Dad Build, a place where we believe that Halloween actually lasts until Thanksgiving. That's right, guys, we're doing another Halloween build, which is kind of a little scary for me. Scary, see what I did there? Because I didn't manage my time well. It is October 29th, so I need to get this build done and out before Halloween. We will see if we can get through the majority of the build today, get it finished tomorrow, and hopefully I can edit it and get it up, watch it, in time. And speaking of time crunch, this project is also part of the Rockler Bentwood Challenge, which also ends on October 31st. So, wish me luck and let's get to work. Attempt number 7,582 to kerf cut a board. And holy crap, just when you're about to give up, it works. So that is attempt 7,000 something 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 something, I can't remember what I said, 7,832, let's see. And that comes from just moving the fence a 1/4 inch at a time. Also, if your sticker is no longer on the back of my saw, it's because for some reason some of those stickers were like not sticky stickers, they were like the static stickers, and as soon as sawdust hit them, they just fell off, and they don't stick to anything now. Sorry guys, but if you're out there and you want to send me a sticky sticker, I will put it back on. I believe it was Jonathan Katz Moses and Wicked Makers, I think, are the two that fell off. I want to make a circle about the size of this can of Simple Finish. Shout out to Maker Branco. That gets me about halfway around. So I think I need about double that to make an entire circle. All right, experiment time, kids. I've wrapped this can with packing tape, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to fill this full of glue, and we're gonna wrap this around there and see if it will stay. All right, guys, I let the test piece glue up overnight and had a little bit of problem popping it off this morning, so I may have broke some of the glue bonds, but it didn't do what I wanted it to do. I spoke to a good friend of mine, Ethan Carter from Ethan Carter Designs, and he said that he had a problem with the glue holding it as well, and suggested that I use epoxy. I'm probably not gonna use epoxy. I think I'm gonna use the expanding Gorilla Glue. I've seen a couple other makers use that, and it seems to work pretty well. So a couple things we've gotten from this. I don't think I'm gonna do a complete circle. It's kind of difficult to join it at the back, but if you look at that, it gets a little variation in there, and I am just not that precise. I think we're gonna go with like a half circle. We'll do our carve on the front and then do a little base for it. It'll still work the same way, it just won't have a back, if that makes any sense. So now I just have a 6-inch and a 7-inch strip. I came in 9.5 inches because I figured I'd give myself a little bit of wiggle, because you gotta have that wiggle, baby. And then I'm gonna take an arbitrary, which is that. Go to 9.5 again. We're gonna wind up with 4 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 6-inch, 2 7-inch. That way they'll be staggered in height. We're gonna start with one of the, I guess, medium carves first. I think the skull has a couple areas that may be a little sketch on if I can carve them or not. So I'm most worried about the Freddy Krueger one. I don't think I have bits small enough to do some of the detailed work in there. That one may look like a big pile of dump, but let's be honest. I don't know if anything's gonna work until I get in there and see if I can get it done or not. Pro tip, or probably not a pro tip, amateur tip, I don't know, maybe it is a pro tip. I stenciled out 4 of these with hopes of getting 2 to final finish, I guess. If we get 3 or 4, that's awesome, but I'm hoping 2. Really hoping for 1 tall and one short, 1 tall and 1 small. But that being said, let's get to carving, kids. Let's do this. Let's get dirty. Not the good dirty. Well, kind of get dirty. I don't know. You like sawdust? I'm not a big fan. so now we've reached the first point of possible catastrophic failure, which is always fun halfway through a project. So we've got our rough carves done. I will bring them up so you guys can see them a little closer. All right, I think that's the Oogie Boogie, right? Or something or another. This is Freddy. The one I probably have the most faith in is this one, and then we got this one. But my fear is that some of these lines are too thin now, and when we kerf cut the back of it, they're just gonna go. Okay, here's where we are. We had one catastrophic failure. No! On my face! And the thing that sucks about this one is this should have been probably the most solid one. I just didn't have enough room at the bottom and the top. Next, partial success. Old Freddy still kind of doesn't look great. The only issue I'm having right now is there's a little divot right there, and when you go to twist this, that starts to crack. So we're gonna see how that holds up. Next we have this face, which I thought was gonna just do really well. As I was trying to bend it, this piece cracked right here. See that? So hopefully we can get that kind of held down. Like I'll put a little tape on there or something when I'm gluing it, and that might be fun. Next step is I'm gonna use a little Gorilla Glue on the back of this to hold it into a form. I'm going to use half-gallon paint cans as opposed to the pints, so we don't have as drastic of a curve, to maybe mitigate a little bit more crackage, because nobody likes crackage. Ooh, foamy. We definitely got foamage. All right guys, it's the next day. Our foam has had time to harden. All right, we got Freddy here. First thing that sucks is I'm not ever gonna know what kind of paint this is ever again. But so far, not boding super well. I can't get this off. You get to watch me struggle to pop this off. Okay, so that did work a little bit, but let's see how the tape is. I was hoping that the painter's tape, I originally used packing tape, and the packing tape didn't do anything. Like it just, like I ended up kind of the same thing, having to tear the label off in order to even get it off. Well guys, Freddy's dead. No, he's not. Look at that, it doesn't look too bad. And now I know you can still see some of the foam in there, but I haven't finished carving inside all of these lines yet, so I wasn't really worried about getting it all out until I do that final carve. I took the majority of the material out with my weapons of choice, which was a tiny stubby screwdriver and a hole punch. The hole punch tended to do really well on curved areas, and then I could get the blade of the screwdriver in after I cut it out with my Maker's Knife 2.0. It's not a Maker's Knife. And then I took my belt sander and cleaned up the edges and the back. Honestly, you could probably leave the back the way it is. Nobody's really gonna see it. And then you could just sand the edges and the top and the bottom with whatever sander, your sander of choice. So the second one was even easier. The large areas are really easy to clean out. It's those little details that, like on Fred, damn it, Fred, that are they're kind of hard to get into. I mean, as far as getting this material out, I'm just using whatever I can in the shop. Build Dad Build rule number 578. Grab whatever works. There's no specific remove glue from whole area tool, right? Don't be afraid to pick up your knife or a screwdriver or a punch or anything that you see that you, I mean, don't do something dangerous, but anything you see that may work, you know, give it a try. You know, the worst thing it can do is not work, and then you gotta pick something else up. Woo! Just got back from a run. Did 10 miles while these guys were gluing up. Next, we are going to clean these up with the rotary flex shaft. Then we're gonna put a little fire on there. Whoops, Wrong order of operations. We are going to clean them up with the Dremel flex shaft. Then we are going to flush trim this little edge right here so it doesn't look all janky. And then we're gonna put a little fire on them. And when I say little, I mean a little, because it's really hard to burn plywood due to the plies. You can burn right through the finished veneer. So we're just gonna you'll see. Guys, so here we are. We're gonna let those bad boys dry. They're pretty much done. I just need to give that simple finish a little bit of time to soak in and then wipe it off. But I do know the fire that I used on these was a little lame, so I got a treat for you. Alright guys, first things first, shout out to Modern Maker Podcast for making this contest possible. Shout out to Rockler for supplying the goodies for anybody that wins. This is a fun build. I learned a new skill that I probably won't be using in the near future, but pretty cool thing to figure out. Next, I'm going to shout out my latest Patreon supporter and father-in-law. Well, he's not my latest father-in-law, he's just my father-in-law, Steve Mann. Thanks for the support. Also, I have a Patreon page. Guys, I just started a Patreon page looking to raise some funds to kind of keep the lights on in the shop, maybe pick up a couple new tools, maybe do something about this echoey audio here that everybody complains about. So I'll leave a link down below. Go check it out, you know, if you want. Also, shout out to ArborTech. I didn't use their tools in this video, but I did use the turbo plane in my last video where I carved a giant skull and set it on fire, and they are gonna feature that video on the cover of their October newsletter. So shout out ArborTech. If you guys don't get that newsletter, I'll leave a link down below. You can go sign up, it's free. All right guys, thanks for being along for a ride. It was a blast as normal. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. I want to take you along for the ride. We're building a community here, and I just have some of the best subscribers. You should hang out. And until next time, let's get to work.